Peace and love. You are now tuned into a Dope Public Health Podcast. I'm your host, DeMonte. And as always, this is a safe space where we lead with grace and we're always open to learning. And today I'm joined by another dope guest, someone who I do know personally, amazing brother. I'm joined by none other than Kenneth Biami. Brother, welcome to the podcast. How you doing, man?
I'm all right.
Man, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. So full disclosure, we met like so many different ways. I think we originally met professionally, but we didn't know each other. We just worked in the same social services field in space. And then we met through like our mutual friends, through social media. And from there, we would just like go and play basketball. We would go and play basketball and just brothers that like wanted to do something positive and engage with each other. And that's kind of how we met, man. So, and I was fortunate for that. And what made me want to bring you to the show, man, is your journey, your story is so multifaceted. I know, shoot, we didn't even talk about in pre-production. I know you're an amazing and proud dad. And I know with your profession, working and serving youth, it is a whole nother facet. And then you have this weight loss journey, bro, where you just went and said, man, this is what I'm on, and this is what I'm doing. So like, I'm gonna just now, in the spirit of basketball, just give you a little, and like, I'm gonna start. Where do you want to start, bro? Like, I mean, I want to let the people know how amazing of an individual you are, because I don't get to connect with brothers so much and be able to shine that light. So I'll let you start.
Oh, let's start with the weight loss. It was just,
Okay.
I had a daughter. She was 3 or 4, and
Okay.
I always said, I want to take her to Disney World. But what fun would it be if I can't get on the rides with her because I'm 300?
Word up. Okay.
Got to be a certain size to get on rides for the seatbelt to fit on me. So
Mm-hmm.
that part of my motivation. But then I ended up getting a new doctor who looked like me and a few years younger than me.
Okay.
And so before he even opened up his laptop after the nurse took my weight and blood pressure, he came in and looked at me and he said, listen, before I even open this, I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay.
He was like, you're overweight. You more than likely have high blood pressure. I don't know who you are, and you're probably borderline diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a decision to make. Either you do what I tell you to do, or I'll be setting up an appointment to have something amputated because of diabetes, or you're going to die of cardiac arrest. He said, the truth is, I can't think anything.
Wow.
I had to really sit back and take it in because I've never had a doctor talk to me that way before.
Mm.
And so he was like, you know what? I'm going to go have you see a dietitian.
Okay.
So I end up going to Freighter to go see a dietitian. White lady. First thing out of her mouth is, have you ever thought about weight loss surgery? You're overweight. Your insurance will pay for it because, your body mass index is over.
Mm-hmm.
Responded, well, why would I do that? I'm an able-bodied person.
Mm.
And I told her, let's make a deal.
That's powerful.
Let's make a deal. I said, I'll see you back in 6 months. If I haven't lost any weight, then we'll have this discussion. So now in the midst of this, my own doctor has me seeing him every 90 days.
Okay.
So we start.
Yeah.
So 90 days go by. I go back to my doctor. I'm down 15 pounds. See, so he like, okay. He asked me what I was doing. I told him I've been just intermittent fasting, just working on my diet. That's all I did.
Okay.
The next 90 days, I'm down 30, 30 total. And I go see the dietitian, I'm down 30 total.
Mm-hmm.
She asked what I'm doing. I said, I'm just working on my diet. So they were like, okay, keep doing what you're doing. So I've been working, I have worked on my diet, I have wrote down in my phone some notes. I work on it for a year and a half and start working out June 1st of 2019. And I was like, and I plan on being 230 by June 1st of 2020. 230.
Yeah.
So those were my goals. I wrote those goals down. Had time.
Yeah.
Had time.
Yeah.
So worked on my diet, So dropped a total of about 45 pounds in a year and a half just working on my. In between, for Father's Day, I asked my wife and my daughter to get me the T25 because I had a plan.
Yeah.
I'll start that June 1st, 2019.
That's right.
Phone as a reminder. Boom, June 1st come, my phone goes off, start working out.
It's time.
Well, I start doing the T25, and you get ambitious and be like, well, I'm gonna start walking with it too. So I decide I'm gonna walk 2 miles. My body said, no, you're not.
Okay.
You're not doing that. We'll give you two times around the track walking. That's what my body said.
Okay.
You're already stressing us out. Like, let's take it slow.
Okay.
Stay with it. And some of the guys at work, we end up being in a weight loss challenge at work. So now I have some competition from work and my own private goal. I never told else what I was doing.
Just doing it.
Between me, myself, my notes, the workout challenge at work, and then my wife and my daughter.
That's amazing, bro.
So we going through. So I'm seeing my doctor every 90 days. I'm dropping weight, and he's like, okay, what you doing? So I'm explaining to him everything I'm doing. He's like, all right, keep doing what you're doing. So now I see the dietitian again. So now she's in awe. So she's taking notes, and she has a chart with my name on it, and she's watching my weight go down. So then she put me on metformin, nasty medication. I lived it like, wait a minute, hold on. Why are we putting him on this? Like, he's not a diabetic. He's like, well, he's borderline. This will control it for now. So he was like, you know what? We'll ride what you talking about for now, but I'm monitoring this.
Okay.
But my doctor's like, I'm monitoring this. So we go on, and so the proverbial cat was somewhat out of the bag for my cousin's wedding in September of 2019.
Okay.
Now, nobody's really seen me. Nobody's really seen me but work. And just like, when Anthony Jackson and Middle were doing barbecue. So
Yeah.
And then if Josh was there, Josh was there.
Okay. Shout out to Josh.
So they were kind of like, okay, what are you doing? Like, and then, because how I work and where I work, I'll get to plan it.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't tell nobody.
That's D.
Thank for everybody.
That's D for sure.
So I go to my cousin's wedding. Like, everybody's looking like, yo, what have you been doing? And I just told him this is what I've been doing, but I had videos. And I will only send them to the people that was in the weight loss challenge at work.
Just show people. Right.
Patient videos, like, okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
We're doing this. And so now people at work are really starting to pay attention, but I hadn't got new uniforms at work yet. So I'm still kind of wearing.
That's how you fooled me. I think one of the last times I saw you, gotcha. Okay.
So this was all by design. Like, I'm not, if you don't see me working out, then you wouldn't know.
If you don't know, you don't know.
So I wasn't in the gym. So this is being done at home.
Gotcha.
Bob is being done at home. I got weights, dumbbells, me walking at Marshall's track. Then they start tearing up the track. I'm like, time to walk.
Yeah.
I'll walk the neighborhood.
There you go.
Best on, walk the neighborhood. So I'm in the neighborhood. So I walk from my house all the way to Capitol, come on around, back to my house is 1 mile. One complete time around is 1 mile.
Boom. Okay.
So I started doing that. So I started meeting people in the neighborhood. They start seeing me. They start speaking to me. And to the point where, you know, they're doing barbecues, they're speaking to me as I'm walking past. They say, I see you. You out here every other day.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing. But mind you, I hadn't changed clothes.
Mm.
Whoa. So all they do is just seeing me.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing me. So November come of 2019,
Mm-hmm.
get new uniforms. It was to the point where I got to get some different uniforms.
Okay.
So I got new uniforms. They ordered me new uniforms. So I showed up to work one day in new uniform, and from a distance, people are like calling me Mr. Gaines. Hey, Mr. Gaines. I'm like, no, saying, you know, we ain't got no hair, but I'm not Mr. Gaines. So they let's, you know, I mean, man, we couldn't even recognize you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I continue on. Then COVID happened.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Now, people that's in my weight loss challenge, they're falling off. Then there's the push-up groups and the jump rope groups on Facebook and all.
Yep.
I'm like, COVID ain't stopping what I'm doing. 'Cause I've been doing my stuff at home and around my neighborhood
Anyway. Yeah.
Well, I continued on. So I'm out here walking middle of winter. I'm dressed in layer. I'm outside still, middle of winter.
Making it happen.
Still going, walking the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So now we go through the winter, we hit spring. Now we get to June. Get ready to be June 1st. Let me go. I got to go see the dietitian first.
Mm-hmm.
Go see the dietitian. She knocks on the door after they took my weight and blood pressure. She was like, "I come in." I'm like, "Yeah," but she got 4 doctors with her. She said, "I brought these doctors with me because I wanted to show them your chart."
Wow.
To where we are today.
Okay.
With no surgery, no nothing. So I was down to 225. So I'm 5 pounds under the goal I set for myself.
Wow.
So these doctors are like, they're in awe. Like, you know, never really had anybody do what you've done without having weight loss. So them and, you know, they're asking questions and I'm telling them what I've been doing and whatnot. So she was like, well, you don't have to see me anymore.
Wow.
You don't have to see me anymore. You're done. You're good and whatnot. So now I go see my doctor the next day, June 1st. So boom, he's ecstatic because I'm his first patient that ever took what he said
and did
it. So he was like, okay, this is what we're doing. We're taking you off this medication. I was on 4 different meds. You know, he said, stop taking all those, but I'm stuck with one. He said, you might be stuck with one because it might just be hereditary and there's nothing, you know, we can do really about it.
Understood.
Like, all right. So, but then he's like, I feel a knot on your neck, which I couldn't feel before because of your weight. And he's like, let's get this checked out to make sure it's not cancerous on your thyroid and whatnot. So I go see a specialist. There is a nodule on my thyroid in my neck, but it's cancerous. They did a biopsy. It's non-cancerous.
Right.
This was like, well, I suggest that you remove it. My doctor, like, no, why are we cutting on somebody who is fine? The minute he can't swallow, eat, breathe, or stuff of that nature, then we'll operate. But other than that, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So,
man, so there's 2 different things that I keep hearing throughout this story, and it leads me to the first question is, what you're saying sounds simple, right? But that discipline, where does this discipline come from? Like, just all of a sudden you flip the switch and now you're like, boom, you write these goals down and then here you are, you know, 60 days later, 90 days later, and then so on and so forth. So like, where did the discipline come from?
All right. So part of my discipline comes from my martial arts background. I had been doing since I was 3 years old. Nobody really knew except for family and close friends.
Oh my, today years old.
So even though I had got overweight, every now and then I would pop up at the dojo and still work out, but I still had discipline. I still had love for the art.
Mm.
But they have what they call like dojo politics or work politics.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't have to play by those rules.
Mm.
So that being said, I studied Kempo Goju. It's on 18th and Atkinson, the very first Black-owned martial arts school in Wisconsin.
Wow.
Chris Charles Warren. So Kempo Goju has a school on Atkinson, 18th and Atkinson, been there since the 70s. One in Palmyra, Wisconsin, one in Hudson, Wisconsin,
Mm-hmm.
Kosovo.
Wow.
So
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And so I've been doing that. And then there's an affiliate school, Celine's Karate Do,
Mm-hmm.
that taught outside of the King Center.
Word. Okay.
So that's been there for over almost 30 years now. And so I'm also a black belt through Celine's Karate Do.
Word. Okay.
So that's where part of my discipline comes from. The other part comes from my military background.
Mm.
I did 9.5 years in the Army Reserves. I went to Iraq in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
I had the mindset and means of putting something together from my martial arts background and from my military background to say, hey, I can do these things. If I can do all this other stuff and have discipline to learn the art, join the military.
Yeah, that's those things in and of itself are like two other different podcasts. Like so you've done all of these things and you're like, okay, so I'm going to merge these worlds to develop what I need for me.
Yes.
Sheesh. Okay.
And so that's when people say, how do you do it? These are my mindsets. I mean,
It's powerful.
One of these people who I don't like the word can't when I know I physically can.
Mm.
So there were people when they found out what I was doing saying, oh, he's not going to be able to keep that up. He's not going to be able to do that. He's not.
Okay.
And for me, it's like, really don't know me to say what I can and can't do. Yes, I have been working out since June 1st of 2019, 5 days a week for 4 years.
Yeah.
But people said I couldn't do it. I fast 16 hours every day, but there's people who said I couldn't do it.
You still fast 16 hours a day.
Still fast 16 hours every day.
Word.
And twice a year, I do a 10-day water fast. Twice a year.
Wow.
So so now we fast forward to now is, once June 1st came, I shows up at the karate school. Nobody recognized until I take my man. Now, mind you, before when you knew me, I didn't have a beard. I have one now.
Yeah.
So I don't beard. So they see me and they tell me what days they still have class, even though they have COVID going on and whatnot. So I just started showing up on Saturdays when I was off to spar. That's when they have sparring.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get into the mix slowly, but I'll spar. So my daughter, when I told her I knew karate, she was like, no, you don't. She just thought I watched anime and Dragon Ball and was like,
that is amazing. She's like, that's cool and all, Dad, but nah.
You don't. Until
Wow.
Gets to see me spar. Now, mind you, I don't have a gi on yet. I haven't ordered a gi, but her eyes get big. And she's watching in awe that, wait a minute, my dad does know karate.
That's my dad.
Then she hears someone calls me sensei. In anime, she knows sensei means teacher. So she's looking like,
okay.
She said they're pulling a prank on me.
Oh, that's amazing.
But when I finally get my game, now, he is a black belt. He is a sensei. He's been keeping this from me. And so now she's just like, oh, my dad's a martial artist.
Wow.
So we fast forward. So I'm been doing that, going to the dojo. And then all of a sudden, one Saturday, she's like, Dad, there's no lights on at the dojo. And I'm like, well, I didn't get a text message saying they're closed. So I get out. There's a note on the door. We at this tournament. This is where it's at, in West Dallas. So I get back in the car and I ask, you want to go see karate tournament? She was like, yeah. So we get there, pay to get in, and everything in. See rain, she sees kids competing, these adults compete, others and whatnot, and they're getting ready to spar. And she looks at me and says, I want to see you compete.
What?
I'm like, you want to see me compete and fight in the tournament? She was like, yes. I said, I'll think about it. And as soon as I said about it, Jabril, a young black belt from Kempo Goju, 26 years old, he walked up, says, you should compete. And I said, she just said the same thing. He was like, I know you got your gear because you went to the dojo already looking for a fight today. Like, well, get your gear.
Yeah.
And come on and compete.
Wow.
Told her again, do you really want to see me compete? She was like, yes. So I go get my gear. Now, mind you, I haven't fought in the tournament since 2011. Fought in the tournament since 2011. And so I'm like, okay.
Okay.
About very first fight, haven't had one since 2011. It was like the proverbial switch. Switched on. Now, mind you, I have been going multiple Saturdays, going on for like 8 months now.
Been doing the work. Yeah.
But the switch went on, and it was like everything was in slow motion. I can see it. I visualize it.
It was one of those zones. Wow.
So I end up getting second place only because I was asked to concede first place to somebody else. I was asked.
So basically you got first place.
Yeah.
Like, we just gonna claim that, like, wow. Sheesh.
They were like, when's the last time you fought in the tournament? And I told them, they was like, it didn't look like it while you were out here.
That's what I'm saying. So now this year in which you're competing is now what year?
So this is 2022 that I actually fight in the tournament. So the one that you just saw me post on social media was just from June of this year now.
Gotcha. But you're saying it was like 2011 to 2022. That was that gap.
Yep.
And then you just jump right in, and then bam, like you say, you're in the zone once the switch. Wow. And you won first place, but gave it to somebody else because you're a nice guy. That's amazing.
Playing to them then is at that particular moment, who I was going to fight, guys weren't going to beat me. And they were like, well, that's mighty cocky of you. And I said, we're fighting for different things here.
Oh,
you're fighting to compete.
Yeah.
And that's watching her dad fight for the very first time. Mine is way different than yours.
Come on. Wow.
And it was like, ever thought about it that way? I said, most people don't. You're fighting for a trophy. I'm fighting to show that I still belong at the age of 45.
Yeah.
And I'm 8-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm fighting against people that are 10 years younger than me.
Wow. That's powerful, man. Man, that's really amazing. And then you're just still just on it. Just now are you regularly competing, or are you picking and choosing? How does that work now?
So now I go to the dojo on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm in class myself. Tournament that comes available. So I fought a tournament back in March, right before St. Patrick's Day in Verona, Wisconsin. I took 4th place. I got a 4th place trophy for that. Then I just fought in June. I got 2nd place for that. I actually lost for 1st place this time. So
okay.
That was okay. And then there's one coming up at Nicolay at the end of October that I plan on competing.
Man, that is really amazing. And it's just like, and the cool thing too, like just for us to be here in this space and me learning about these things at the first time. So like that's really cool. And then like talk about, cause I'm a dad and I know, talk about the importance of like fatherhood, man. Like, what does that mean to you? What does that do for you? In your eyes.
For me, it means everything in the world. My dad wasn't around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's around now, but we really don't have a relationship. He taught me by not being around everything I needed to know and wanted to know about being a dad. I didn't want to be like him.
Right on.
So for me, if I don't want to be like him, I have to do everything different that he never done.
Facts.
And so for my daughter, it's crazy because in my initial stages of working out and whatnot, she would try to work out with me. Can I lift weights? Can I do jumping jack? Can I do push-ups? Can I?
Yeah.
And when certain exercises were playing on my TV and it's a countdown, she'll count down for me. Oh, you got a minute left. You got 30 minutes left.
Oh.
Things like that. And it's crazy because, the light up of your child's face when they see, me picking her up from school and asking her to make the day great. It's something I've asked her every day since K4.
Burn.
Did you day great?
Yeah.
It tells me no. I will ask, why didn't you make today great? What stopped you from making today great? What happened that prohibits you from making today great?
That's real.
And so it's crazy because I taught her how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's, my dad never taught me how to ride a bike. It was one of my aunts, but I taught her how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
And, I help her with her homework and, stuff like that. People don't understand the importance of it.
Yeah.
And to actually have it and you're in the midst of it.
I tell it. Yeah.
Takes on some of your personality, traits.
Yeah.
My daughter is strong. Sorry, that's part of me.
You're like, whoa.
That's me, this.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I started doing martial arts too, a little bit,
Yeah.
And people are like, well, what if she doesn't like it? And I'm like, well, the problem is children don't quit martial arts, parents do. It's never the kid that quits, the parent that quits. And the parent is the one not even trained. I don't feel like doing this.
Interesting.
But in the world we live in, a kid like mine who doesn't bother anybody, who likes unicorn shirts and light up shoes, picked on.
That's right.
I need for her to be strong enough mentally to not worry about that and be able to defend herself if it came down to it. I'm not a person that says, hey, you go out there and fight. That's not what martial arts is.
Yeah.
You're not free to assault me. That's the thing. You're not free to assault me.
And I really appreciate that because I often on the podcast always say, what are some myths that you can clear up? And that's a perfect one. Like the way you just framed that is like, no, this allows me to communicate. You're not free to assault me. That's powerful. Wow.
And she does other things. I believe, my grandma had passed away back in 2009. I believe she has some of my grandma's tendencies of, she's very artsy. She likes to draw, make stuff. You give her popsicle sticks, glue, crayons.
Yeah.
She'd something. It's crazy to watch it manifest itself
Yeah.
real time.
Yeah. That's just powerful, man. Just the motivation of our children. And, I always say that even when I'm talking to my own kids, I'm like, you know what? I'm learning from you just as much as you're learning from me. So like we're in this whole vibe together. This is what we do. Like, yeah, that's amazing, man. And then like, so like what are the other things too? Like, with all of the working out and those different things, like, are you one of the folks that like when you work out, are you working out to music or like what's that vibe like?
It depends. When I like right before my shift at work, I will go run on the treadmill. So that's the music.
Okay. Okay.
When I'm home, it's whatever that's on Beachbody on demand to that day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm times of the person, like, so what they're live on the screen. Well, it's pre-recorded from like the week before, but then they have the podcast of other people who tuned in, so you get to see them.
Yeah.
And so that I'm not doing it to music. I'm following the cues of the person.
Yeah.
And there's only one time that I've actually did a live class on Beachbody on Demand, a live that ended up on the big screen live.
Oh, word. Okay.
So I took a video of that when it re-aired later to show my daughter, and she was just ecstatic because they said my name. They had me on.
That's super dope.
And so when I walk the neighborhood, I used to walk with my headphones on, listening to music, but then my military and martial arts side took over and said, that's not safe. How can you hear if somebody's telling you to look out, watch out? If you got headphones on and music, you can't. Somebody crazy, you need to move out the way, or somebody's dog is loose and somebody's telling you, hey, look out. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Yeah.
So I walk in the neighborhood with headphones on.
Wow. So then and then one of the things too, like I always make sure I put my guests on the hot seat. So like, what's that one song that like, you know what? Every time I play that song is the equivalent of, like you said earlier, hitting that switch. For you, what song could you identify? Like, this is that dope song section. So for you, what is that?
That is the proverbial switch for me.
Yeah.
Well, has always been the scene from Rocky IV to fight Ivan Drago, but his wife comes. When Stallone's wife shows up, right? That is the switch song.
Interesting. Okay.
That is the switch song for me.
Yeah.
That has been the song. It's on my workout playlist right now.
Really?
That says workout music. Right there. It's on there.
Wow.
So that is my switch song.
I like that
song. I don't think I could have made it through all the workouts and all those things, because just like in that particular movie, yeah, he was working out. Yeah, he was going through the motions.
Yeah.
But really didn't hit the switch until his wife showed up.
Yeah.
Took it off the mirror and actually looked at himself.
Yeah. See, now that, and so what I do typically with every single guest, I have a playlist, dope songs that changed my life. So I add every single song. So this song will be added in honor of you and what you do, man. I just think that's phenomenal, man. Like, and I just wanted to ask you as we kind of bring this thing to a close, like, what's one of the things that you might say to somebody who's like, yo, like and I'm sure people may have even asked you this. I've seen what you do, man. Like, it's been mad inspiring, but like, what advice could you give me to kind of like, I be starting, but then I stop or whatever. Like what advice would you give those folks that like, you can tell they're like right on the cusp of beginning their journey?
Have have a goal, have an obtainable. It's not, you don't want to have something that's so far off
Okay.
that you're not going to be able to do it. Have a sound, attainable goal. It can be small.
Word.
People don't understand when, I've been working out, I've been eating right, and for the past 3 months, 4 months, I haven't lost any weight. My question to them is, when you put on your clothes, do they feel different? And if they say yes, you lose inches before you lose weight.
Okay.
It's working because your clothes sit different. You're feeling bigger because you've lost inches. And that's what happens first before you drop weight. But you got to have a small, obtainable goal. Go, write it down, make a reminder, and look at that goal. When you feel like quitting, look at that goal and say, I got this goal. This is what I'm working for.
Yeah. Man, that's powerful, man. And I just want to thank you for being on the show, man, because, again, you have been inspiring, and just, you're one of those brothers that are always, we don't have, we reside in Milwaukee, and, you can look up the stats about Milwaukee, but to have brothers that are out here doing things in a very positive way, from fatherhood to your professional lane, and the things that you do, even like you said, as you're pouring into the community, inspiring people. I just want to applaud you and thank you, man, because it's one of those things that, we don't do that enough. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you. And guys, thank you so much for listening. This has been another phenomenal episode of a Dope Public Health Podcast with love, respect, and advocacy. Peace.